This video is really a catch-all of tricks that I picked up from administering Drupal since version 5. It's by no means exhaustive, and it reflects my own personal way of doing things. First, let's talk about how the public sees your site, the so-called user experience. Now, I've said before that you should browse the site as users of all different roles, especially as an anonymous user, and here I'm looking at the site as an anonymous user by switching to a different browser. But along the same lines, sit some friends down in front of your site and ask them to look around, and then watch what they do. Things that seemed obvious to you might be completely invisible to them. For example, if I were to sit somebody else down in front of my own site here, they might say, well, what is this site about? Why are there no graphics here? What exactly does this mean down here, feed aggregator? It's just as important to remove information that doesn't contribute to your site as to add it, and sitting somebody down in front of it who's never seen it before will help you do that. So that's the user experience. Let's talk a little bit about the administrator experience. Now here's something that I used to do a lot more with Drupal 6 before we had the toolbar up here. I didn't like the way the links were set up, so instead of clicking to administer things, I would tend to just go up to the address bar and type in URLs to administer. One thing that's sort of strange about Drupal 7 is now when you click a button, you get the overlay, and so the URL is much longer. But you could still go to that page, which is admin people, by typing in admin people. And if you're the sort of person who prefers to type instead of click buttons, you might find this faster. Another advantage of this is that the more you do it, the more your browser will keep track of what pages you've been on. So for example, now if I just go back to admin, I see all of these pages, and the ones that I use most show up at the top. So I would just hit Control L or Command L on the Mac, go to admin, and then scroll down until I find the one that I want. You might find it faster, maybe not, but give it a try. The one thing about this method is, of course, it gets rid of the overlay, which if you want, you'll just have to click the buttons. Another way to get around quickly is to use the shortcut bar. Now, we talked about this in the video earlier on about using the shortcut bar, but I didn't really show its application. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I want to set up a shortcut bar for a community administrator, and I know that that person is mostly going to be working with people. They're going to be managing the user accounts, they're going to be changing roles and permissions and that sort of thing. Well, it's easy. I just go People, add one, go to Permissions, add another link, go to Roles, add another link. And there we are. We now have some very easy to access links here for my community manager. Once again, the video you want to watch to learn how to do that is using the shortcut bar. Along the same lines, some people find the dashboard to be a handy center for administrative tools. If you want to learn more about that, see the video on customizing the dashboard. Now, those are just a few very small tricks. As always, the best place to get a broader perspective is in the Drupal community, where thousands of people use Drupal every day. Believe me, if there's a faster or easier way to do something in Drupal, they'll discover it. Find out your resources for interacting with them in the video about joining the Drupal community.